Hey guys, before the video starts, be sure to follow me on Twitter. Click that link down below and go follow me on Twitter at Mr_Bird333. I would love to talk about NBA and basketball in general with you guys, but without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hey guys, and welcome back to another NBA 2K18 rebuild. Today we are doing the Denver Nuggets, which actually have a very good roster to start out with. They have Jokic, Paul Millsap, they have a couple of young guards in Emmanuel Mudiay and Jamal Murray. So I'm going to have to see how this team works out in the beginning of this first season. Let me go ahead and import the draft classes. I'm thinking I may end up trying to make my own draft class just because I'm tired of using the exact same one every time. But let's look at the roster, shall we? Have Jokic, 89 overall, only 22 years old. Paul Millsap, 86 overall. Will Barton, 80 overall. Gary Harris, Kenneth Faried. And here are the rest of them. We definitely have some salary to dump here. Let me go into the trade finder and just see what our biggest salary is. Of course, it's going to be Paul Millsap. But we also have Plumlee on a 3-year contract. Kenneth Faried on a 2-year contract. Chandler and Arthur getting over $7 million a year. So I'm definitely going to have to look for trades for at least 3, if not 4 of these guys. So I'm going to come back with some trades for Plumlee, Faried, Chandler, and Arthur. First trade we're going to make is sending, what do you know, Miles Plumlee to the Bulls for David Nwaba, getting our salary up to $9 million. Next, I got to find a trade for Kenneth Faried and Wilson Chandler. I should be able to get something, being that Kenneth Faried is pretty young and they are pretty good overall. So I'm going to find a trade and I'll bring you guys back once I make it. Next, we're going to send Kenneth Faried to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for the young power forward Alan Williams, who we bumped $6 million in salary cap, and we get a young power forward. Next, and the final one we're going to do for this season is Wilson Chandler. I don't even know what trades we'll be willing to get for him. I'm looking at trying to get a possible first-round pick of a team that may not want to use it, but that we could use as trade bait some other time during the next 3 years. So the Timberwolves, they're always trying to get rid of Jan Mahimi in that contract. But I'm really not seeing much in exchange for Wilson Chandler. This could be a trade. Zubac and Jordan Clarkson. You know, I think I'm going to take this. We relieve $1 million in salary cap. We get a nice young guard for the next couple years. And we get Zubac. We're going to take this trade. Very nice. So, also, let's take a look at where we're projected to be in the draft. Nuggets, where are they? 13th. I may try and trade out of that. Well, Kevin Knox may still be available. So I may try and stay in. I'm not sure at this point. I'm going to have to see how this first season goes. Here is the lineup for the first season. I'm going to move Will Barton in over Richard Jefferson. I don't understand why they're playing Richard Jefferson that much. I'm going to lower his minutes. Move up the rest of the guys, including Zubac and Mudiay. And I'm just going to spread out these minutes evenly. Give some more to Millsap. And I'll give some more to Gary Harris and to Jamal Murray to try and develop them a little bit better. So let me see here. We're going to Millsap, Jokic, and Gary Harris as our top 3. So that should be good for Season 1. I'll bring you guys back at the end of Season 1, hopefully with a playoff bid. This, guys, is an extremely intriguing trade. The Grizzlies are offering their first-round pick unprotected and James Ennis, a young player, for Jamal Murray. Now, we already have Jordan Clarkson, Mudiay, Gary Harris, and Will Barton. So I think we're going to take this and we're going to acquire another 2018 first-round pick. Very, very nice. Well, guys, we performed well above expectations, going 49-33, getting a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. Curry MVP, Simmons, Lynn, Drummond, Chris Dunn, and Mike D'Antoni. Don't know if we're going to see any Nuggets here. Maybe Jokic somewhere. I guess not. Here with all the rookie teams, very, very nice. With the 4th seed in the playoffs, if we look at our player stats, Jokic has been playing incredibly well. 13, 8, 9, and 5. With nearly a block. Paul Millsap with 15 and 6 with 4 assists as well. Jordan Clarkson and Will Barton are both playing very well. And if we look at our roster, I sent Moody down to the G League, and he is now a 79 overall. So these guys are maturing very nicely. So let's see how we're going to do against the Clippers in the playoffs. Looking at their team, Teodosic, Lou Williams, up to an 85 overall. Gallinari. Blake is healthy again. DeAndre, Patrick Beverly coming off the bench. Okay, so let's see how we do. I'm hoping that we'll be able to try and get past them and at least get to the second round of the playoffs. Okay, 3-2. Let's close it out. Okay, 7th game. Let's close it out. Okay, then that's sort of what I expected. Clippers were able to get past us, but to be honest, I didn't really expect to make the playoffs at all. What do you know? Warriors win versus the Cavs, and we're moving on to the first offseason. Let's look at league meetings. Everything's rejected, and here's what I want to see: the draft lottery. We got Memphis's pick, so I want to see where that's going to end up. I don't even see the Nuggets anywhere. Let's see here. Skip to the lottery. And the Nuggets, we're going to get the 19th pick and the 25th pick. Okay, we could switch that out. The Lakers get the number 1 pick. We could probably trade those two in exchange for possibly a higher pick or even a younger player that we could get. Wow, there's really not much for us if we trade these two, is it? 16th pick. Wow, there's not much at all if we decide to trade these picks. Who's giving up that first one? That's Houston. So we'll stick with our picks for right now, and I'll see you guys back at the start of the draft. With our 19th pick, I believe Miles Bridges of Michigan State is still on the board, so I'm definitely gonna have to pick him up. He is a nice big power forward that we could put behind Paul Millsap, so I'm definitely going to go with him. Now let's simulate to our next pick and see who is still available at the 25th spot. I'm not expecting a lot of talent to still be around, but still some players that we could send down to the G League and get as at least decent role players for the next couple years. Let's look at our trade offers. Again, I'm not expecting anything that will blow me out of the water here. Just a bunch of rookies, some low-level backups from different teams. Yeah, pretty much everything I expected. So we're going to go back on the clock and see who is still left at this point. LiAngelo still on the board, really. Who else do we have? We have Ruchi Huemara. I've liked him before. We have Jared Vanderbilt. Who do we have down here? I'm not going to recognize any of these names, am I? Yeah, I'm not going to recognize any of those names. So let me go back to the top ranking. What about 2K's ranking? They have PJ Washington. I think we're going to go with Bruce Brown. He's a young shooting guard that we can still develop. And that will be the end of the draft. So let me go ahead, draft him. We're going to draft Bruce Brown out of Miami. And let's go ahead and sign both of these guys to nice 2-year contracts. We also have the 59th pick, apparently. Rookie signing, let's sign both of these guys, 71 and 69 overall. We're going to decline the other guy. And in team options, we're going to accept everybody. And Darrell Arthur accepted his, so we're going to need to trade him. We get Jokic back on the team option. That's very nice. KD going into free agency. Paul George as well. All the normal players that we would expect. Dwayne Dedmon, all of them. Okay. So, let me take a look at our roster here. Who's the biggest salary? Paul Millsap has 1 year left. I may try and move him. Gary Harris we have for the next 4 years. Jordan Clarkson we have a decent contract on. We signed, oh, it's Malik Beasley. I thought it was Michael Beasley. Bridges, Leiden. Okay, so let's see who we got for qualifying. None. Okay, so let's go to the moratorium. We're down $3 million in cap space. let me go to our trade finder and see who's eating up all that cap space. Paul Millsap and Darrell Arthur. First of all, let me find a trade for Darrell Arthur that just relieves salary, honestly. Okay, do I have to give up that pick? Can I get rid of that and make... Okay, I'll do this. I'll take Harry Giles. I'll take Harry Giles in exchange for that. Now, let's see what we can get for Paul Millsap. We got a team option on him. So I want to get at least a good young player out of this. John Collins in the pick. De'Aaron Fox. Wow, I didn't expect De'Aaron Fox to be up there. Frank and the first round pick. Darren Collison, Tobias Harris, Steven Adams, Wiggins. We could go straight up for CJ McCollum. I may take that. So if we take that, we'll be able to move Gary Harris, and we can move either of these guys up to starting power forward. Or we could move Harry Giles down to power forward. What would happen if we move Harry Giles down to power forward? What would happen to his overall? I think it would improve. It seems like it would improve. Power forward, Harry Giles is a 75 overall. So, you know what? We're going to take that deal. We're going to trade at least one or two of these power forwards. And we're going to trade Gary Harris. And we're going to try and improve this team. So let me go back to the trade finder. Trade Paul Millsap. We're going to go back to the trade for CJ McCollum. Trade for CJ McCollum. Very nice. And then we're going to look at our starting lineups. We're going to have Clarkson, McCollum. We're going to trade Gary Harris and Lyles for a small forward. So let's trade Gary Harris and trade Lyles for a small forward. What about Gary Harris? I can't trade Gary Harris? Let me try and find a trade for Gary Harris, trade Lyles, and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, guys, the original trade with Gary Harris didn't work out. So we're going to try a different route. We're going to trade Jordan Clarkson to the Hawks for their pick and John Collins. We're going to get ourselves a power forward that we can start in the starting lineup. So there we go. We have John Collins. Now, let's try and trade Alan Williams and Gary Harris for a small forward. So we're going to end up trading Gary Harris, Alan Williams, and the pick we just got from the Hawks that we're not going to use for Robert Covington. So that should honestly round out the starting lineup. Moutier, we're going to move Moutier to starting point guard. CJ McCollum at shooting guard. Robert Covington at small forward. We're going to move somebody. We're going to move Hernan Gomez to backup small forward. Move him to backup small forward. Power forward. He becomes a 75 overall. Covington is shooting guard. McCollum is Covington small forward. CJ shooting guard. We're going to put John Collins at power forward. And we're going to have Jokic at center. So now we have an 80 overall at least in every spot in the lineup. I really like that trade. And I believe that gave us a ton more cap room as well. So we may be able to sign another really good young player. So I'm going to try and go after probably Paul George. Let's see if I can get Paul George. We have a ton of cap room. So I'm going to go after the top 3 free agents. And if I'm able to sign any of them by some stroke of luck, I'll let you guys know. Guys, look at that. Even with Covington, we're able to sign Paul George to a 4-year contract. Now, this prevents a couple problems for us, actually. We're good at shooting guard. We have an abundance at small forward. So Covington may be on the trade block, just maybe, just to trying to get a better point guard that we could put in front of Moutier. So I'm going to go through all the possibilities. If nothing works out, I'm going to meet you guys back at the start of Season 2, where hopefully we'll be able to make a deep, deep playoff run. So guys, we're going to be able to trade Robert Covington and Miles Bridges to the Bucks for Malcolm Brogdon, Teletovic and Sterling Brown, both of which are on one-year contracts. So we're going to be able to let go of them at some point during the season and not take that big a cap hit. So we're going to be able to pick up Malcolm Brogdon from the Bucks, and that should be it for the offseason. So the starting lineup will be Brogdon, CJ McCollum, Paul George, John Collins, and Nikola Jokic.